Let's have a look at all of the new quests, give them a rating, and some tips on how you actually play them. Or if you even should play them. Because this first one, the Blood Goblet, I'm gonna rate a 2, or maybe even a 1. Actually, let's give it a 1. Because I've not seen it, like, play it at all. Neither have I ever felt like I wanna pick it. It just seems so underwhelming. First of all, you gotta be taking a lot of damage for it to be worth it, so you'd rather not do that just to get a little bit more attack. You'd rather try and stay healthy. And if you take a lot of damage, you'd rather have that health convert into a bigger high roll. Very often your health is a resource that you want to spend for just better stuff. So just getting attack on the rightmost minion also is bad, because the minions that you want to get attack on, you often want to position first. Think of Deflectables, think of Cleaves, think of pretty much any card that you lead with. The only cards that you want to put in the back and maybe give attack is a Baron to play around Zap, but play around Zap is already pretty easy with Uther on tier 6, or maybe Mackerels. Let's say you're playing Mackerel Ping Pong Comp in the back. Okay, or a big Divine Shield Taunt. But still, this seems like an underwhelming quest compared to the other ones that we all have in the game. So it's just a 1. Now the next quest, Essence of Xera's. I don't even want to rate this. This is either a 5 or a 1, like depending on how your RNG is. I guess a 2, like it's never really a 1 since you get a free card every turn. So this quest, first of all, is too easy to complete. The fact that you can get this early on and start getting Xera's turn 5, 6 is stupid, because that means that you can have 5 and 6 drops those early turns. That is just how the game works. That is how Xera's works, and that's why Xera's was removed from the game, got introduced for a little bit, and got removed again, just because it is one of the more toxic cards. Facing someone with an early gas coiler when they're on tier 3, it's happened to me, just feels awful. So this quest just introduced so much high roll. I've seen too many screenshots of people getting early 6 drops and 5 drops. At the same time, this quest can be really awful. Sometimes you have it and Xera's is just 1 drops and 2 drops over and over, which is more likely to happen. And then you basically just get like an extra gold every turn. Sometimes a useful card. So then there are better quests. But yeah, this seems too swingy. It's fun to play with though. It makes some nice highlights. You can see some crazy high roll boards, and suddenly things are so wild, and RNG usually does give the game some spice, but I'm not a big fan of this quest, and again, it's hard to rate this because it really depends on how lucky you are. But if you can complete it in 1 or 2 turns, I would still consider taking it most of the time. Hidden Treasure Vault. These give you a gold and that upgrades every turn. Felt pretty good the time that I played it, and I've seen it be okay. The issue is that it's not insane tempo. Let's give it a rating first. I'm gonna give it a 3 in the middle of the pack, because if you get to stabilize, and if you have a hero with tempo already or a strong board, you can easily make this snowball, and you have so much gold in the later turns. Like, if you can complete this early, you really need to complete this early, because every turn that you complete this later, you miss out not just on 1 gold, but all of the gold for the following turns. So you really are aiming to get this done and hard focus on this quest while not taking too much damage, so you can actually stabilize with this. Because again, most of the quests give you instant minions or instant tempo or instant ways to stabilize. This does not. You gotta know how to properly play with economy. So I would also guess that in lower ranks this quest isn't too good, but in higher ranks probably the win rate goes up, because people can manage their econ better and know how to value or how to level with things like this. So I still enjoy playing with it. I think it has some cool applications. A lot of gold is always fun, flexible, yet I don't think it's one of the stronger ones, so I think middle of the pack is just fine. Now Ethereal Evidence, which is basically the Panda hero power but as a quest, because every turn you get to choose between 2 new rewards. I'm gonna give a 4. I think it's pretty good. For the main reason that Panda is good, that you can high roll really strong quests without having to actually do them. Like with Panda, you can get the Reno hero power, or you can get the Zephyr's hero power on that 1 turn, so you can get a triple and then get more useful hero powers again, because Zephyr's hero power is kind of useless for most of the game, unless, well, you get those triples, those turns that you actually press it. So I feel like this quest is kind of the same. You can get certain quest rewards on turns that they're good, and that you usually don't like having for an entire game, which is why it's above average. Also, if you get it done really early, you could get more difficult more quest rewards that are difficult to obtain earlier. And flexibility is a huge thing. The fact that you can change your game plan accordingly. If you're facing a strong opponent, pick a strong quest. If you're facing someone who seems weak, or you just tripled, you can pick greedier quest rewards and snowball of that. So I think it's cool. Sometimes I guess you could get 2 quests that are not that useful, but most quests in this game right now are pretty useful and do give you something. But if you get a quest like the previous one we just discussed that gives you gold every turn, quests that upgrade or that need to be active for longer. Those are pretty useless though. But it's fun to play with, and I think it's a cool addition. Volatile Venom gives your minions +8/+8, and after they attack, they die horribly. Now, what I miss is that this also goes for every token that is spawned, so it's basically just a way better Mama Bear without having the Mama Bear on board, so you have more board space and it can't get sniped. This is insane tempo if you get this early. I mean, I don't think you can get this super early, but if you get this relatively early, you're just gonna like blow out the lobby. The thing I don't like about this is you always gotta play specific comps. You gotta be playing comps that play a lot of token minions and a lot of summons, because that's where you get most value out of this. So probably beast or max, anything in that sort. A big stat comp doesn't really do much. It's actually really bad when you play a big stat comp, because then after your minions attack in, they die, so they can't value trade more. So you can't really rely on too many value trades. You can only get value trades if he attacks into your minions first before they attack in and they die. So preferably you play a sort of summon comp and just try and tempo out the lobby. Doesn't usually get first place, I would say, but a free top 3, yeah, very dependent, and it just leans into a certain playstyle. I'll give it a 4, but it's kind of boring to play with, honestly. The Golden Hammer is a spellcraft that makes a minion golden until next turn. So this is basically Reno's hero power, because every turn you can make something golden, it then removes itself at the end of the turn, but you can then remake it golden. So basically, again, a Reno hero power, but a flexible one that you can swap onto different units as the game progresses. So early on, you can use it on a road boar, a banner boar. It also works during the shop phase, meaning you can actually just get more value than, let's say, stolen gold, where it's only during combat. So you can actually double battle cries with, or triple battle cries with Brand, for example, get more scaling with a gold Netissa. So this is just much better, much more flexible, and I think I'll give this a 5. I think this is one of the cooler ones, the stronger ones that you can play with, no matter what situation you're in. If you need tempo, if you need strength, or if you were going for that high roll and that scaling, it all applies. And also cool thing, because of the spellcraft, if you're playing Lady Vash, it will be permanent. So you can permanently golden something every turn, which is just stupid. The Sinful Medallion is one that gives 2 friendly minions of its Tavern tier +2/+2 after you cycle a minion from that Tavern tier. Which I thought was going to be interesting, see some play, but I haven't really seen too many people mess around with it. I thought there was going to be cheese comp as well, where you stay on tier 1, cycle 1 drops with tokens, for example, buff those cards, but turns out that's just a little bit too slow in this crazy high roll meta where people are getting 6 drops on turn 5. Who would have thought? I still think it's cool that, like, if you're playing Gallowix or heroes and compositions that want to cycle a lot, you can get a lot of buffs. There's a bunch of tokens in the game with the new 2-drop, for example, that can help you buff up that board. Not very reliable though. Also, again, the stats are not quite as good as other compositions, and I don't know if there's many cycle comps you want to be playing right now, because if you play APM Pirates, you just win anyway. You don't need additional quests. If you play Murlocs, you'll win anyway as well. Elementals is the main thing that comes to mind, so with Elementals this could work pretty well, but a lot of other compositions just build a board, like Beasts or like Mechs or a Taunt comp. All of those just have their boards passively scaling there, and then this quest just gets less value. So I think it's underwhelming. I'm gonna give it a 2, haven't seen it be impactful enough. Now the Kidnap Sack, another spellcraft, which keep in mind that these spellcrafts also trigger the Brutes on tier 4 or Atessas on 6 for scaling. This one just chooses a non-golden minion and adds it to your hand, both in the shop or on board, which is really good. You get a free card every turn, and the fact that this is also easy to complete, it is nuts. I've just had easier requirements with this, and then I just started getting a free card from shop every turn. Or in case you're board locked or you want to cycle buffs, let's say you have a jug on the board with a brand, you might want to pick up that jug again, or a lookout. Let's say you have a big lookout playing Murlocs. Yeah, lots of applications, really flexible, just really good, simple. I have to give this a 5. I think it is one of the best quests that you can pick right now. It's not the flashiest or not the craziest, but it's definitely a very consistent one that will just lead to good results most of the time if you use it properly. And all in all, for the quest meta right now, it just seems that still easier quests to do are better. So you want to do quests that you can complete quickly, because if you wait too long, you're just dead to people who do have early quests. Like I've had lobbies where half of the people are dead on turn 11, which is just crazy. Then again, I've also had lobbies where everyone is still alive on turn 12, so it really seems like it's all over the place. The speed of the lobby is highly dependent on the heroes and the quests that are in, and also the tribes, and if someone gets those early 6 drops. So I'd say stay flexible. There's a lot of playable things right now when it comes to quests, a lot of different strategies, and that's about it. Tomorrow I'm gonna check out and rate all of the cards, but in case you're watching this video later, it's gonna be here already. Alright, have a good day.